We have a great game on Sunday. The Dallas Cowboys travel to play the Washington Commanders. Both teams are reeling a little bit. Actually, the Cowboys are reeling a lot. We have no answers for the Cowboys offensively. Cooper Rush did play Monday Night Football. He threw for over 300 yards, so he did play a lot better than his first outing where he got taken out of the game in the third quarter. The Cowboys have really no answers on offense right now. Other than CeeDee Lamb and Turpin, the weapons for the Cowboys, the cupboard is bare. All right. Shoemaker's taken over for Jake Ferguson, who left with a concussion. Dowdle has been very lacking in the running game. Zeke Elliott is nowhere to be found. They're averaging around 2 yards a carry. So the running game is futile at best. The passing game is getting a little bit better, but other than CeeDee Lamb and Turpin, where do you turn to if you're Cooper Rush? They really don't have many options. So they have major problems, and I haven't even brought up the defense yet. The Commanders, on the other hand, the last couple of games, they've struggled. All right. The last 3 games, they have averaged just over 3 yards a carry. The first 7 games, they were right around 5.2 yards a clip. Brian Robinson is a great player, has been a big force for the Commanders, especially in between the tackles. And when you have that force in between the tackles, the offensive line loves it. They love to get their hands in the dirt, work their double teams up to the linebackers, and physically they've been very good. But the last couple of weeks, the Commanders' offensive line has struggled a little bit. The rookie left tackle hasn't done as well. I think Tyler Biadasz has been injured a little bit with an ankle. These guys have been a little bit banged up offensive line. I'm hoping with the extra 3 or 4 days of preparation to get their bodies right, they come in with the force, get their pads down, and really move a weak defensive line for the Dallas Cowboys. The Commanders' offense has sunk down quite a bit the last 3 weeks, and there's a lot of reasons for that. They played the Pittsburgh Steelers, for goodness sakes, and then they had a short week and had to travel to Philadelphia. We understand that. But the Commanders, for them to get back on track offensively, the perfect remedy is to play the Dallas Cowboys. All right, we'll get back to our strong running game, get Zach Ertz in there, get John Bates in there at tight end, and get our physicality back, the inside zones, the zone reads off of that. I believe Jaden Daniels will be more healthy, so I think he can execute a little bit more with his legs and get to the 30, 40, 50 yards rushing, which really helps that rushing attack. And we get Austin Eckler to sub in there on the perimeter in the screen game and do some really good things. Now, the issue is we have to have somebody outside of Terry McLaurin to step up. Noah Brown is a big receiver. OZ is a little slot type receiver. Obviously, De'Ami Brown, one of those receivers has to step up and give some relief for Terry McLaurin, because against Philadelphia and against Pittsburgh, there wasn't a lot of separation there with the receiver. So Cliff Kingsbury has to dial up some formations and some unique things to try to get these guys some motions, to try to get these guys some free access, get them some separation, and then Jaden can hit him, obviously, because he's a very accurate quarterback. So I expect really the Cowboys to come in here and try to stop the run, because if you look at the blueprint for how to stop the Commander offense, it's play single high safety, play man-to-man, because they don't have a lot of guys that can separate, and then we can load up the box and stop the run. That's going to be the issue for the Commanders. Can we still run the ball against loaded boxes and then hit the play actions and the zone reads and the RPOs, in which Jaden Daniels is absolutely magnificent at? And the Cowboys, they got to find out defensively, where's Micah Parsons? He had 1 tackle last night against the Houston Texans. He's got to show up big. They got to move him around at 3 technique, in the A gaps, on the edge. So the Commanders can't hone in on where he's at. And obviously Kendricks has to have a big day at linebacker. Diggs has to make some plays in the secondary for these Cowboys to have a chance. So really, I expect the Commanders to put their foot on the Cowboys' throat early and do not let up. That's going to be key to give the Cowboys absolutely no chance of thinking that they can win this game. Take them out early in the first quarter and then keep your pedal to the metal for 4 quarters and get yourself a big win and stay a game and a half or 2 games behind Philadelphia and have a great chance to win the division, but more importantly, get into the playoffs. But that's the toughest job in the world right now, is Dallas Cowboys. The high expectations for the Cowboys. You lose your quarterback. You lose a lot of games. You're getting blown out at home. I believe the last 6 games they've trailed by at least 20 points, which is an NFL record at home. The sky has fallen down at the stadium. A piece of metal fell from the roof. I mean, there's a lot of things going wrong. And then obviously Mike McCarthy's on his last year of his deal. He already sold his house, I believe, in Dallas. So a lot of issues going on. It's very tough to motivate the team, but it's very necessary for the team to be able to motivate themselves as well. These are pro players. They're getting paid to play. They should be competitive players. They should not ever want to let Washington come in or beat them at Washington or at Dallas. So the motivation for them personally as football players, as men, should be there, but it is tough. I think it's very important for Washington to get up early. I really do. And the confidence, Cliff Kingsbury's getting a little bit of heat right now because of his lackluster play calling late in seasons. It's well documented at Arizona. It's happening right now at Washington. But I think they get back on track, and I think he's a good play caller. And I think the Commanders take charge early and often and handle the running game of the Cowboys and get after Cooper Rush in the passing game. Dante Fowler, nobody's talked about him. He's a Pro Bowl candidate. He's emerged as a great pass rusher for them, done some good things. The secondary, if they get Marshawn Lattimore back there, I think they'll be able to slow down CeeDee Lamb, and I think the Commanders win this game pretty easily.